One of the key architects of the Core Challenge kit is my good friend and somebody that I love to spend time with is Mr. Mark McDonald, and I'm grateful that he can be here with us again for another one of these Tuesday night webinars. So Mark, fresh from the USA's victory in the World Cup last night, I shall hand it over to you.
Hey Stevie, yes, I am super excited for the USA victory, and everyone welcome to our Week 7 kickoff. And Steve and I were talking about how, how USA is better than England now in football. It just gets better and better and better. I love that Steve's a Brit. We are able to joke back and forth all the time. But he said, let's not get too far. Well, all I can say is that USA has 3 points in the group, and England has 0 points in the group. So that's the power of what U.S. soccer is all about. And, tonight's all about making sure that you're finishing strong, you're rocking Week 7 and leading right into your Thrive phase as we talk about that next week. Now, but one of the big things I want to open with are dreams. I have a 9-year-old son, and I've been a soccer man my whole life, ever since I can remember with my dad. But when I was 7 years old and 8 years old and 9 years old, when I was 9 like Hunter, there was no soccer being showed. For Steve, there was in the UK, but for me in the States, there was nothing being shown. And I had to kind of live in, okay, well, what's possible in the realm of being a collegiate soccer player and a professional football player and football meaning soccer, and how could I achieve my dreams? And I was fortunate to get a full soccer scholarship and play at the highest level. But what I love when I look at my son who's 9 years old and he was geared up in his USA gear and he has his World Cup ball and he's got his World Cup booklet with all the stickers of the players, and he's able to see and experience the possibility of what can be with his dreams. And that's what this is all about. When we talk about the Core Challenge and the Core community, we all have dreams. Whether it's my 9-year-old son who wants to be a professional goalkeeper, whether it's you struggling to ever having the confidence in your body that you want, whether it's you've been struggling to put on weight. My good friends Carl and Kathy Firestone, their son Luke, couldn't gain weight, was underweight. Over the past year, he's put on 13 pounds. So whether you want to lose weight, gain weight, whatever your goal is as an individual, it's about dreaming and being the best that you can be. I've been coaching clients since 1995. And I really started as an intern in 1988 as a 15-year-old working in a PT clinic. And one thing that I've seen is that people want to become confident in their body, that they want to know what they can do, how they can be their very best. So in essence, that's what this community is about. I know we've detoxed, I know you're igniting, and I know next week you're going to be thriving. But at the core root of this whole thing, it's about knowing and owning that you can take your body wherever you want and that you can feel and be your very best. Now, what I was excited about yesterday on Headline News is there was a new, I don't know if anyone saw it, but if you saw the Time magazine feature, it talked about how we are all misled and bamboozled with the fat-free craze. And what I want to share with you is that there's going to be miracle supplements on the market. There's going to be these incredible diets. There's going to be the next greatest thing. And the reality is this, is at the end of the day, they all are hype. And eventually, the bust will come. Decades later, what we have learned through massive research and what many of us already knew, I've been teaching this since 1995, is that fat-free is actually not good for you. Is that your body needs fat to burn fat. On the surface, you would think to yourself, why do I need fat? What's the point of it? The point is that it's essential to your body. So before we talk about the topic tonight, which is going to be how you can break through plateaus and really finish strong moving into your Thrive phase, I want to share with you that when we talk about the core plan, why fat is in the core shake, why you eat in threes throughout the day, why every single meal needs a protein, a fat, and a carbohydrates, because those are the 3 essential nutrients that provide your body with energy, calories. They're the only 3 nutrients that provide your body with energy. You have 6 essential nutrients in your body. Protein, fat, carbohydrates provide energy. Vitamins, minerals, and water do not provide energy. And you need those 6 essential nutrients to live, to function, to breathe. So the most important thing is that when you take one of those nutrients out, your body doesn't work for you. You see, your fat is one of your best sources of fuel. This is why when you follow the core plan and you're eating in threes, you're stabilizing your blood sugar. What does that do? It causes your body to release your stored body fat. I want you to grab a little piece of body fat. Every pound, that's 3,500 stored calories, which that means is that when you're eating and following this plan and implementing the right strategies, you're consistently releasing that stored fat and it's being utilized for energy. When you inhibit the amount of fat intake, when you say, no, fat's not a good thing, you mess up the entire way your body works, and your body goes into panic mode, and it holds its fat. So I want everyone in the room right now, wherever you're listening to this webinar tonight, I want you to scream out, fat is your friend. You must eat fat to burn fat. And that 99% of the fat-free foods are actually unhealthy. Imagine this or think about this. When you take fat out of a food item, what does that do? It causes more chemical production. So you have to take something natural out, and you have to put something unnatural in. More sugar, more chemicals, more process. You got to ask yourself over the past couple decades, why are we getting fatter as a society? And when I mean fat, it's not an insult. It's just fat is fat means that you're gaining more body fat. Why is adult and American diabetes and obesity on the rise? Why is by 2020, 75% of the adult American population will be overweight or obese? Why is childhood obesity consistently going? Now, there could be many reasons, but one of the core reasons is this, that we're being misled, that the public has been misled, and decades later we understand that fat-free is not a good thing, and we're no longer going to be bamboozled by it. And that's so important when we talk about this core community and this core challenge, because I want all of you to understand there's no hype here. There's no magic here. It's quality products with quality plan and education with amazing support. And with those three things, those dreams that you have with your body, with your physique, goals that you can do, anything. I was watching American Ninja Warrior with Hunter last night. And what I love is that with your health, you can do anything. I was seeing this father and son, a 45-year-old man and a 20-year-old son, and they were doing American Ninja Warrior together. There is no age limit on how great you can be. So that's the power here. Understand what you get from your health and realize that this movement, these 8 weeks you're living, goes way beyond just you. The transformation starts with you, but it extends everywhere because we are putting things to bed, and we're not going to be bamboozled, and we're teaching the truth. Okay, so that's your information of the week. You can simply go to my Facebook page, to the core community page, and you can share that link. Share with people why they need fat in their diet, because fat is part of the plan that we teach, part of the products that you're implementing, and it's going to allow you to continue to be on the right side of the message in mainstream national media. Okay, so no more being bamboozled. And as my good friend Mike Alano said, we're cutting the horns off the devil known as fat. I love that. So focus this week, and I want to keep it nice and tight. Stevie Jones and I were talking before the webinar, and our goal with these webcasts are to keep them about 20, 25 minutes max. Because how much more information can you take on? So the whole goal is 1 week leads to the next week. Now, as you've owned, you understand the detox plan. You understand if you fall off plan, you reboot your detox. You know that your ignite phase is all about burning your fat, sculpting your body, restoring your digestive health. We've talked about adding more different foods, diversifying your exercise, focusing on mastering your sleep and minimizing your stress. And all of these are tools and strategies that you're going to live with for the rest of your life. Remember, this 8-week run, this making your run for these 8 weeks is about drawing your line in the sand and taking your body and health to the next level. And then next week, week 9 and beyond, you're going to be thriving. I know we have one more week after next week, but we're going to prepare you to finish strong and thrive. But what's going to happen, whether it's you've experienced this somewhere, and I see all the great posts on the community. Some of you have experiences where you've hit some plateaus, or your results have been a little slower, or a plateau's coming. So there's 5 main strategies. Through all my years of coaching clients and our practices, we focus on these 5 main strategies. So I want you to really get in your place, get your pen out, and be ready for this. The first thing is this. You just have to accept that you're going to plateau. Your body can never progress at a rapid rate all the time. You've seen that, and you lived it with the detox plan. When you lose your bloat, that's a weight your body doesn't want to carry. So you naturally drop fast and quick. But then you hit a place where your results become a little slower. So maybe you go from 7 to 8 pounds in that first week to now 2 to 3 pounds each week, to then eventually maybe 1 to 2 pounds. Your body, it just can't rapidly continually to progress. It has to have moments of progress followed by recalibration, followed by moments of progress. So eventually, whether you hit a plateau where you feel like your frustration grows and you're stuck forever, that may not happen, but your results will slow down and they'll come in smaller chunks. So it's important to understand that that's always going to come. You might already be there. You may not have been there yet. Knowing that it's going to come prepares you for it so you're not taken off guard. The second strategy is you got to be clear in your mode. Now there's 3 types of mode. There's survival, progression, and all-in. Most of you right now are in all-in mode. You know, you're not focusing on the off-plan meals. You're not focusing on the alcohol. You're on plan. You're rocking it. You're eating clean. Each week builds more and more momentum. And that's what we talk about, making that run. Moments of bursts followed by moments of recovery. So you're all in and you're locked in. The problem, though, is when we started this web series, is that many times the reason why people love dieting is because they're all in or not in at all. So what's going to happen somewhere, it may happen next week or the week after you finish your 8 weeks, you're going to have to shift from an all-in mode to a progression mode. So if you still have fat you want to lose, weight, pounds you want to drop, muscle you want to build, then you don't go all in. You start working back some stuff, but you want to shift to a progression mode where you expect and you accept that your results will be a little bit slower, but every single week you're still progressing. And then the third mode, and this is going to hit you. There's going to be moments in life, whether you have to move, whether there's a death in the family, whether you have a massive work project. When I was finishing up my book, I was in survival mode. My goal is just to survive, not to basically maintain and not regress. I wasn't able to get my workouts in. I was able to eat as clean as I can. I didn't skip meals, but my goal was to survive. Survival mode is when you're just in that mode to hold. Progression mode is when you have that calmness in your life, where you feel like you have a rhythm, where you're grocery shopping consistently, where you have that system in your moment. Think of a moment in time when you felt like, okay, I'm in control. Every single week you have that rhythm. And then your all-in mode typically follows a survival mode, maybe after a holiday, maybe after the Thanksgiving time, or after vacation, you feel like, man, I'm a little extra bloated, you go all in. So understanding that you're going to plateau, being clear on the mode you're in will make sure that your actions, which is your effort, will always meet your expectations. Now, once you get there, now your mind's right. Then we go back to a lot of the stuff you already learned. The whole point here is repetition so that you understand the core philosophies of what it takes to allow that dream to grow and for you to be the best you can be with your body and health. So the third thing is you got to keep your food clean. The detox plan, besides the cleanse boost, which is just incredible when we talk about detoxing your liver, your kidneys, and your colon, the detox plan, food-wise, is super, super clean. So no complex carbs, your fruits and veggies, limited amount of protein, and not limited amount of protein, but limited types of protein, and super clean fat. So that's as clean as you can get. Your Ignite phase, we add a few more things in. We add some complex carbs in. We add a little bit more free food in. Gives you a little more flexibility, not a ton, but a little bit more. Your Thrive phase gives you a lot more flexibility. So when you if you're stuck at a plateau, this would be a great example. Let's say that you're having some oatmeal, some brown rice, and you're saying, okay, you're having complex carbs twice a day. A simple adjustment in keeping your food clean would be to take out the complex carbs and simply bring in fruits and veggies instead of the complex carbs. So you shift more to your detox food plan, not as much as your Ignite food plan. That's going to keep it extra clean and give you a little bit of a jolt to break through that plateau. Now, once you break through that plateau, you can bring it back in. But just make sure that your food is clean. And if somehow you feel like you're not progressing at the rate you want, the first question you have to ask yourself, if you're in the right mode, is how clean's my food? The fourth thing is you got to diversify and challenge yourself with your exercise. Now, through these past 7 weeks, what we focused on was making sure you're doing your fat burning cardio, your white fiber training, and your strength training. So think of a fat burning cardio you're doing. Maybe you're walking, maybe you're jogging. Write it down. Think of some high intensity you're doing. Maybe doing sprints, jumping rope. And think of some strength training you're doing. Maybe you're doing yogas, Pilates, weight training. Diversifying and challenging your exercise is pushing it to a whole nother limit. Tonight I have a soccer match. 10:45 tonight Eastern time, I'm playing soccer. I got a big match. That's challenging myself. Going to Sky Zone with Hunter and playing indoor trampoline dodgeball. On Friday night I was in a tournament. That's challenging myself. Playing in my tennis league, that's challenging myself. Finding new creative ways to challenge myself, to make sure that I diversify my exercise, I keep it fun, but I'm doing it in a way where it's non-controllable. See, when you're doing your fat-burning cardio, your high-intensity cardio, and strength training, in essence, even though you're hitting all the right fibers and you're hitting the right heart rate, it's still, you're kind of controlling the flow of it all. The key here in diversifying and challenging yourself is looking outside the box. Maybe you take up racquetball, or you join a tennis league, or you join a soccer league, or you join a flag football league, or a basketball league. Or if you don't like sports, what can you do? Maybe you join a walking club or a spin club. What can you do to really challenge yourself? Maybe you add 5 minutes more to your fat burning cardio, 10 minutes more to your high intensity work, a few more reps or sets to your strength training. In essence, when you talk about being stuck at a plateau is a level surface. Your body needs a push. Many times, you got to ask yourself, why does your body want to progress? Man, I've worked with many people. I worked with this client, Joanne. Her body fat was at 20% body fat. Her body doesn't need to get leaner than 20% body fat to her body, but Joanne wanted to get down to 16% body fat. Her body wouldn't understand why, so she needed to push it. She needed to force the issue, go outside her comfort zone. So she understood she was at a plateau of 20%. She was in a progression mode, so she did a hybrid of progression all-in mode. She went back to her detox quality foods. She then added a few more sports and challenged herself a little bit more and brought in even more diversity to her exercise, pushed the boundaries more. And then the fifth thing what Joanne did is she implemented the sleep strategies and stress strategies that you've learned on the past couple week webinars. And the whole goal was this. With sleep, you are what you metabolize. And if your body's not being rested, it can heal itself. Remember, your deep sleep charges your body, your REM sleep charges your mind, and your stress is your X factor. You're going to have a plateau somewhere in this journey. You might be at it now. You might be at it 10 weeks from now. You might be at it next week. The reality is understanding that you go into it with your eyes wide open. There's no reason to stress about it. There's no reason to panic about it. You just need to know that it's going to come. So the first thing is you need to accept you're going to plateau. The second thing is be clear in the mode. If you're in a survival mode, you will not be breaking through that plateau. If you're in a progression or all-in mode or a hybrid of the two, you can break through the plateau. You then go back to keeping it clean. Find a balance between your detox and Ignite phase that work for you. Then challenge yourself more with your exercise. Even push yourself more to expand your boundaries. And then continue implementing the strategies of mastering your sleep and minimizing your stress. Joanne took this coaching. She was stuck at 20% body fat. She was stuck at 140 pounds. She wanted to drop down to 135 about, and really 16% body fat. Within 4 weeks of implementing these strategies, she burst through her plateau. She got down to 15.5% body fat, and she got down to 134 pounds. whatever you were, wherever you want to take your body, and whatever you want to accomplish your body, you can. It's understanding that you just have to implement the right strategies and you can take your body wherever you want. I remember when I look at the World Cup and I see the dreams of people, and I see the dreams of all these kids and all the Hunter's friends about what's possible. Since 1988, when I was a 15-year-old soccer player in a PT clinic, I've realized the power of the body. And I want each of you to understand this, that as you take on your 7th week, as you're making your 8-week run, as you're taking on this core challenge, you're a massive part of this core community, you can achieve whatever you want with your body. Your transformation starts with you, and then from you on, you're going to influence your family, then your friends, and then your community. This week, your focus is clear and simple. Get prepared for a plateau and set up the right structure so that you have the strategies and the tools so that when that plateau comes, you know exactly how to burst through it. Everyone, keep it rocking. Steve's going to share about the Facebook FAQ because as I shared, I do have a soccer match tonight. So what I will be doing is you're going to post your questions and I'm going to answer everything in the morning. Thank you for everything you do. Keep supporting each other. Week 7, here we go. Stevie Jones, back to you.
Thank you very much, Mark.